I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedle dumb, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
We watched Jungle Book like a year ago. I took notes, and I lost them. I do remember being pretty overall meh about Jungle Book, which is crazy because we finally rewatched it this week, and I loved everything about it, which is terrifying because I'm 71 weeks into this, and if my opinions of these movies are going to change with the more movies I watch, what's the point? We press play on the VCR. We get some ads coming to theaters this holiday season. It's party time. The Little Mermaid is coming back to theaters. And if you've never seen it on the big screen, you've never seen it, I guess. Robin Williams and Flubber. Sadness. This is a long preview for Flubber. A list of Disney movies coming to VHS. Good. When they say coming to DVD at the beginning of these, I get sad because that means the white clamshell VHS releases are coming to an end. Beauty and the Beast, Enchanted Christmas. Okay, this is a 1998 VHS release. As for Peter Pan, you can own some of Disney's most beloved characters ever. Wrong. And Captain Hook, one of Disney's favorite villains ever. Wrong. Disney's 35th animated Disney classic, Hercules, is coming. The 90s WWF pay-per-view music bed brings us How the Toys Saved Christmas. I wish I had that music bed. That has to be the greatest piece of non-copywritten music ever.
If life were fair.
Okay, they keep coming. George of the Jungle. Then they tell us to stay tuned after the feature presentation for something else. Feature presentation, Disney Masterpiece Collection. Wow, THX audio flange. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a Disney VHS before. We start with the Jungle Book book. The book opens and we're off. Remember the Canadian Jungle Book, the cartoon? I watched that every day after school. So weird. The Canadian Jungle Book cartoon series was one of those like ambitious cartoons that weren't standalone episodes. You had to watch them in order or you'd be lost. I respect that. Kids today will never understand the ramifications of missing one TV show. Like, you missed it, you missed that chunk. It was forever gone until syndication started all over again because nothing was online. We meet Mowgli. He's a baby crying in a basket and a Black Panther finds the man cub. Bagheera knows the baby will die out here, so he brings the kid to the family of wolves who just had a litter of pups. This is already really fun. Mom and Dad Wolf fall in love with Mowgli. Time passes with the quote, 10 times the rain has come and gone. There's classic Mowgli. He's a young man and it's time to bring him back to civilization because rumor has it Shere Khan is going to come kill him. Well, that's a good reason to take him back. The tribe has spoken and the man cub could no longer live with the wolves. Bagheera has the unfortunate job of dropping him back off into civilization. Mowgli is confused, and if this was a newer Disney movie, this would be the moment they make a point of just tearing your heart out and stabbing you and twisting the knife until you're so sad. Bagheera realizes that Mowgli cannot survive as a real boy in the real world. He falls asleep and a snake slides down and starts pestering Mowgli. He uses hypno-toad eyes and puts Mowgli in a trance. Bagheera wakes up just in time as the snake starts to crush Mowgli, and he clobbers the snake on the head. The snake's name is Khan. Khan tries to hypnotize Bagheera, but Mowgli kicks the snake off the tree, and that scene was really fun and well animated. I don't like Mowgli's voice, for the record. I find it distracting. I can't put my finger on why. Maybe it's because he sounds older than he looks in animation. I don't know. We get musical elephants. Disney loves musical elephants. Mowgli befriends a baby elephant and they march together. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this movie, but I am so into it right now. They're like military elephants. I'm not sure why this is fun, but this is fun. Mowgli pretends to be an army elephant but can't pull it off. And like usual, the elephants end up in a pile. This must have been some go-to inside joke for Disney writers and animators. They love their elephant stacks. I get it. It's kind of funny. Elephants piled on elephants. Mowgli throws a tantrum and says he's not going, and ironically, that means he's totally ready to be a human child. They throw a fit anytime they have to go somewhere. Bagheera says fine and leaves him alone. Now we meet Baloo the bear, and I'm always confused by this Disney character. He seems like the most bumbler of Disney bumblers, but he's not. His animation and body language would indicate he's a chubby bumbler, but no. He's actually a pretty solid, helpful character. He's like a bumbler swerve. He tries to teach Mowgli to roar, and Bagheera hears this roar and thinks he's in trouble. He doubles back, and now everyone's dancing. Bagheera says he's taking him to the man village. Baloo says, no, they'll make a man out of him themselves. Mulan pops up. Baloo says, instead, he will teach Mowgli all he knows. Bagheera says, that shouldn't take long. Snap! Before we can treat that jungle burn, we break into bare necessities. Can't say this is one of my favorite Disney songs, but inside this movie, it's super charming. Jerk monkeys come and ruin poor Baloo's day. They start tossing Mowgli like he's poop, because monkeys toss their poop. Is this whole movie about Bagheera just trying to get Mowgli out of the jungle? Up next, we meet King Louie. Monkey King. Yeah, King Louie. Louie calls Mowgli cousin, and he's playing it all cool. He asks Mowgli if he still wants to live in the jungle. Mowgli says he does, and he says, okay, all right, we got a deal. I guess Mowgli's a monkey now. Here's the King Louie song, another favorite on all Disney music compilations. I Would Like to Be Human Too. Like Bare Necessities, this isn't a great standalone song, but for whatever reason within this movie, it's amazing. I'm into this. It feels good. Baloo pretends he's a monkey as well. He puts on a costume and joins them, but then he gets too into the song and his disguise falls off. Everyone freaks. Everyone's after Mowgli and Baloo and Bagheera, and they get away, and the monkey castle crumbles. Baloo walks away with a huge black eye from saving Mowgli's life. This is going to be a running theme. Stay tuned. Mowgli sleeps, and Bagheera wants to have a word with Baloo. It's real talk time. He tries to explain that Baloo can't adopt the man cub, and drops the truth bomb that Shere Khan hates man, so he's going to be coming for Mowgli and he's not going to stop till he's dead. This lack of plot is actually a really decent plot. Baloo realizes Mowgli leaving the jungle is what's best, and it's time for real talk again. Mowgli isn't picking up what Baloo is trying to lay down. He busts back into bare necessities, and Baloo is sad. Heartbreak is coming. It's just a matter of time. Baloo can't give it to him straight. He finally loses his temper and is like, you have to go back to the man village. And Mowgli tantrums and runs off. Bagheera's like, we gotta go find him. Scene change, and there he is. We meet Shere Khan. I don't know why, but this movie is just clicking with me tonight. There seems like some weight, like some movie history significance when Shere Khan appears. He's like a new breed of villain. He acts and he talks smarter than the rest of the characters, and it's pretty creepy. It's unsettling. He hates man, and he hates man's fire and man's weapons, and you know, in pro wrestling, they always say the best bad guys don't think their bad actions are bad, like they're justified. This is Shere Khan. Kaa scoops up Mowgli and promises that he can make it so Mowgli never has to leave the jungle. Kaa's animation is just slick. As he swings around and talks about trust and he hypnotizes Mowgli. Shere Khan confronts Kaa, and he's just so passive-aggressive. Kaa is lying about having Mowgli up in the tree, but casually keeps the game going, looking bored the whole time. Shere Khan kind of plays with him, casually reminding Kaa that he could kill him any second. Kaa asks to see all his coils. He's on to him. Oh man, Shere Khan is actually checking the snake's belly for bumps, as if he's already eaten the man cub. Oh, gross. Khan's satisfied, he leaves. Mowgli snaps out of it and drops the coil off the tree, causing Kaa to flip and unwind and fall off the tree. Again, wonderful animation. We meet some vultures, and I cringe. Are these going to be some like old racist characters no one talks about? No! I think they're supposed to be the Beatles. Just fun, I guess. I want an animated ostrich named Yoko to come break them up. Mowgli has a weird heart-to-heart with the vultures. The scene must be based on the Beatles' unreleased album called Unnecessary Filler. There is lightning and Shere Khan is stalking. I'm into this. After a huge song about friends, Shere Khan shows up and the vultures freak out and take off. Ouch. They tell Mowgli to run away and he's like, why should I run? Shere Khan has no idea what to do with this guy. He offers Mowgli he'll close his eyes and count to 10 to give Mowgli a head start, but instead Mowgli gets a stick and he's going to take on this killing machine like an absolute imbecile. Then Baloo jumps in and takes a beating from Mowgli again. Mowgli jumps in and hits Shere Khan with a stick. Khan laughs and goes to eat him, and then he's like, Baloo, help me! Unbelievable. So Baloo jumps back in. He's getting beaten like a drum, like slashed and pounded and slashed and pounded and slashed and pounded, but then lightning strikes a tree and starts a fire, and that's Shere Khan's one fear. Mowgli ties a flaming branch to his tail, and he runs away, and that's it for Shere Khan. The smoke clears, and Baloo is dead. Or is this just your typical third act death scare? Maybe Baloo is dead. No, he can't be. He's in part 2. There he is. He kind of blinks back to life while everyone's talking about him. He starts threading his esophagus back into his body and looking for his eyes. The storm stops as Bagheera is giving a sermon about death, but surprise, Baloo is behind them and alive. Everyone cheers. All right, it's settled. Mowgli can stay in the jungle forever. And he says, no one will ever come between them again. We don't even have time to spell foreshadowing. And Mowgli sees the man village and a young woman. And just like that, he's over the jungle. I mean, that's kind of how it happens for real when you think about puberty, but still, I would be irate if I was Baloo. He's like, hey, remember how I almost just died saving you? Let's go. And Mowgli's like, nah, I like this now. She's singing and fetching water, and he's just perving on her in the bushes. She drops her water bucket, and he runs up, picks it up, fills it, and follows her back to the man village. And wow, this ungrateful guy. That would be like if your friend was lipping off some crazy person who pulled out a knife, but you step in so your friend doesn't get murdered, and you end up getting like slashed and cut up, and you save your friend's life, and as you're walking home, you're like, yeah, that's good, man. And then he's like, hey, check out that honey over there. I'll see you around. Come on, Mowgli. He's just done with the jungle. Just like that. That's how this ends. Bagheera says he's hooked. He's where he belongs. Baloo says, I guess you're right. And they walk away with Baloo's spleen and tendons dragging behind them in the dirt. The end. I'm totally staying tuned for the special look at something after this movie. The making of a musical masterpiece. It's like a behind-the-scenes making of The Jungle Book, the last animated feature Walt Disney personally supervised. That's amazing. Leonard Martin, film historian, says he remembers the music the most, like they weren't hits, but high points of the film, and I mean, that's an extremely articulate way of conveying the same thoughts I had back earlier, but you know, I like what I said too. There are moments you take with you, he's right. I guess the first kick at the can, Walt didn't like. Like, the songs were dark and moody, it was based closely after the book, and Walt didn't like it. And he scrapped everything they had done, except for the Bare Necessity song, and started over. That's crazy. I wonder if that footage exists somewhere. There's something super charming about these old men gushing about songs they wrote and performed like 40 or 50 years ago. I want to be old and still excited about stuff I did, you know? Absolutely adorable. Walt asked the new team he brought in if any of them had read The Jungle Book. They said no, and he said, good, don't. Walt was super hands-on in this production. They say selecting voice actors wasn't as easy as picking the current famous actors. That's a lost art. There's an old man actually dancing to the songs. I think it's an animator. I love this guy. They wanted a Dixieland beat for Louie. They wanted the King of the Swingers. They wanted Louis Prima. Louis Prima's a guy who had a musical show in Las Vegas back in the day, so they pitched this to him, and there's rare live footage of Louis Prima and his band recording Human 2, and everyone is jamming and dancing, and this is so much fun. King Louie's movements were actually based after Prima, who used to do live shows and ended them by marching through the crowd with his instrument. This is unreal. Shere Khan was supposed to be a super serious, above-it-all villain. I love it. Straight evil, so confident in his power. He didn't need to rant and roar, and they nailed it. They wanted George Sanders, quote, master of urbane suave subtlety. The voice of Kaa was Disney's voice veteran Sterling Holloway, who voiced Mr. Stork, awesome, Cheshire Cat, awesome, and Winnie the Pooh, 2 out of 3. Are these behind the scenes on Disney Plus? Because they should be if they're not. People thought Disney was taking a shortcut by casting established voice actors. Oh boy, imagine studios being worried about that today. Okay, we got a tiny mouse with a nervous tick and can't pronounce the letter Y. Oh, that's got to be Cardi B. Get her on the phone. Walt finished the ending and then passed away. People speculate if Jungle Book failed, Disney would have shut down. Really? I mean, come on. Since the movie was successful, they started a new initiative gathering new animators for future projects, and the rest is Disney history. In the spirit of the Jungle Book, I feel like someone took this documentary and rewrote the ending as well.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long.